We are well underway into the National Hunt season, and a couple of weeks ago I had the opportunity of chatting to Nick Schofield before he entered the racecourse. We chat about his career achievements so far and the ones to look out for this season. Okay, so Nick Schofield, thank you so much for joining me. I, of course, as I always do, want to start at the very beginning. So how did you get into racing?
From a really young age, my father was a point-to-point jockey, and my mum had show horses, and I sort of had ponies from as young as I can remember, really. And I started off doing showing and show jumping, and I did that all the way through to I was 16, which was great. And then I obviously after that went into racing.
So was it always like a lifelong dream, or did you have a plan B?
I'd always been involved in and around horses in my spare time, and although at school it's not something you shout, it's not as cool as football or rugby, but it's like I was sort of quite successful at show jumping, and I suppose when you're successful at something, you like doing it. So from a young age I liked doing it, and I carried it on from there, really.
How did you get to work for Paul Nichols?
I left school at 16 and went and worked for him as a amateur, and Richard Barber was training at the time, and I was riding a few of his pointers, which helped. And so then I went there as amateur and worked my way up, and there was lots of lads there while I was there. There was Harry Skelton, Ian Popham, Paddy Merrigan, Liam Hurd, and obviously Christian Williams, and who else was there? Like, there was a lot of Sam Thomas. Ruby was in, and like there was a lot of good people around the time, and obviously it was the era of Big Bucks, Kato Starr and Denman and all of them, so it was a good time to go.
Did you just have to sort of like apply to go there and get the job, or did you know something?
I think if you can half ride in racing, you can get a job. So I'm not sure it was like I didn't go there as specifically a stable amateur or anything, but it worked out well because Richard Barber was the main point-to-point man, and I managed to ride a few winners for him, and it sort of that caught Paul's eye, I guess, and he gave me a few rides on the rules, and it went from there.
So who was your inspiration growing up?
Oh geez, obviously Tony McCoy's the forefront of everyone's mind, but I used to really enjoy like watching Timmy Murphy, Paul Carberry, and those sort of jockeys, and like when best mate Jim Colotti, like watching them come through, and yeah, it was like I think I like the whole thing about racing. It was nothing specific, but I love just enjoyed the whole thing, really.
What's been your favourite win to date?
Hard question. Obviously, the grade ones are all. I've had lucky enough to have 4 grade ones, and they're all pretty special within the racing industry. And obviously, Irving winning the fighting fifth was a big one. But I think my most memorable would be Hunt Ball, winning at the Cheltenham Festival. He was sort of the people's horse at the time, and he had like a flamboyant owner, and it was sort of he had a big following, and he had top weight, and he was favourite going into the race, etc. So yeah, that was a big day, that sort of very memorable.
And have you got a favourite course?
I'd probably you like any course you ride Wednesday, and I ride a lot at Exeter and Wincanton, so I think Exeter's a beautiful track. It's lovely for novices, and you can a lot of people take their good horses there. It can be hard to win there, but it's a 2-mile round track, and it's it's one of the traditional good tracks.
Is there a race that you really want to win that you haven't yet?
Well, obviously Grand National It's probably what everyone says with the Gold Cup. I was lucky enough, I've rode in both, and lucky enough to come third in the Grand National and two for three about 6 years ago, and I think I finished sixth on my wheel in the Gold Cup. But yeah, they're the household names, and yeah, they're hard to come by, unfortunately.
What's it like to ride in the Grand National? Is it scary?
It depends what you're on. If you're on a good one, I've had a few falls in the race, never ideal, but yeah, no, it's a race that all your friends and family watch. More so, like my family wouldn't entirely watch every race I ride in day in day out, but when the Grand National's on, you get lots of messages, far more than normal, and even more than the festival. And I think it's the race everyone sits down and watch, and hopefully that will continue for years to come.
Yeah, when I see pictures like, you know, just the stills over the Grand National fences, they look huge.
Sound old now, but I rode in it when I was 18, and now 30, it's 12 years ago. So like they were a lot bigger then. They used to have the fixed, like not the horse friendly ones back then, and I think they were much harder than what they are now. It's much more horse friendlier, and that's probably why you see a better type of animal winning the race and running in the race, because it's much horse friendlier than it probably was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So have you got your own horses, or are you just so busy riding out all the time?
No. I just ride other people's, and it's quite an expensive hobby, isn't it? Owning racehorses, and it'd be something I'd look to in the future, but no, I haven't really got time at the moment.
Do you ever think you'd be a trainer when you retire?
No, it's never interested me, to be honest. It's a lot that goes a lot behind the scenes, and it's a 24/7 job. I'm lucky enough when I finish racing can go home and can chill out for the evening, whereas they obviously have to, concentrate on the horse and look after the staff and bills and owners, and there's so much that goes with it, and it's nothing I've sort of ever inspired to do, really.
So how did you find lockdown?
My jockey friends say I've quite enjoyed it, but I lived with my girlfriend, which is the first time we lived together in Newmarket. So I actually rode out for a flat trainer, which I'd never done, James Fanshawe, for 3 months, and I managed to survive 3 months without getting kicked out. So that was quite handy. And yeah, so it's just riding out for a flat yard, which, to be honest, it kept me busy and kept my mind occupied, and it was good fun and kept me fit at the same time.
Was there a big difference riding a flat horse to a jump horse?
Yeah, there is. There's much more to it than people realise. The flat training's got wonderful facilities, and it's probably more money orientated than it would be in jump racing. But there's some, the wonderful gallops in Newmarket that I'd never ridden on, and it was a great experience. And to take a positive out of lockdown, obviously it wasn't good with everything, but I learned plenty while I was there.
So finally, we're going into the jump season. Are there any ones we should be looking out for? Are there any good ones you've seen or ridden?
I sat on a nice one this morning, actually, called Sizable Sam for Jeremy Scott. He won his bumper start at Warwick last year. A nice, big, impressive horse. He's just been bought by a few people, but including Santini's owner, Richard Kelvin Hughes. He's a nice young horse coming through that people wouldn't have heard of. And I think he's got scope to be a nice horse. I've ridden a Grade 1 for Jeremy Scott previously. It'd be nice if he could do the same.
Fantastic. Well, that's all my questions.
Oh, cool.
Thank you so much for, because I know you're super busy.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me.